really hammer in and make their effort really work. But as soon as the fire gets to an uphill slope, that's when it can really run away from fire crews, and that's when it becomes very concerning. If you're on the Encino side in the southern San Fernando Valley, that's still a concern. Don't let your guard down because the smoke is moving away from you. That's still something to be concerned about, something to keep an eye on. But right now, because we do have the flow of air and the terrain moving this fire a little bit more towards Brentwood and a little more towards the Mountain Gate community, that's the #1 concern right now. So you see fire crews working on that end, and you see these aerial assets dropping fire retardant and the helicopter crews dropping water on this fire on this side. This flag, look at that. Marcel giving us a close-up shot on that. That's giving you an idea of the wind on the surface. So even though at altitude, we're dealing with a little bit of gusty conditions, winds maybe are a little bit stronger than they were yesterday. So that is going to become an issue. We know as day turns to night, we're going to have a little bit of that offshore flow again. And you saw that wind showing you that there is gusty conditions at the surface. Where we are at about 7,500 feet, winds aren't too strong up here, so we're okay at this altitude. But down there at the surface, they are dealing with some gusty conditions now, as we saw evident from that flag, and that's going to be something that fire crews are going to continue to deal with as the day continues, and we're going to keep an eye on it. The fire now moving, encroaching through the Santa Monica Mountains towards the Mountain Gate community and a little bit towards Brentwood. We're keeping an eye on Brentwood, very close eye right now. Mark and Irene. I didn't hear that question. I think you were talking about if the fire is still in the Mountain Gate community. Correct, Mark. The fire, in parts, it has crossed through Mandeville Canyon. So we're unable to see Mandeville Canyon from this perspective. So my hope is that it crossed in an area maybe a little bit further north where there are no homes. But I'm also looking at a satellite view right now. We're not able to superimpose that on our shot like we normally can right this second. But I have a satellite view that I'm looking at as well. And I do see a lot of homes in that area of Mandeville Canyon. So my hope is that fire crews, we know they have structure protection in Mandeville Canyon. We know that they're working hard to protect property in that area. We know that that area should have already been evacuated. So people in Mandeville Canyon should already be gone. But we will work to get exact information on what exactly is happening right now in Mandeville Canyon. But you are correct, the fire has progressed past Mandeville Canyon, and it is now on the east slope of Mandeville Canyon, moving down the hillside towards the Mountain Gate Country Club right now, and that's where you see these active flames. Thank you. Booth, I have a little bit more of an explanation to what we're looking at versus the Mandeville Canyon and Mountain Gate situation. So I can address that whenever you guys come back to me. Oh, so that's why we lost everything? But that's why we lost return? Oh. I was seeing black. Because you wouldn't get that if the Skylink was off, right? Simon Desker 7. Don't let anybody run with the fact that it has crossed Mandeville Canyon, because it has not. I was able to look at a better map, and I could clarify that when they come back to me. But if anybody asks, we should not run with that yet. Hey, I got you. Sorry, Booth, I had the desk talking to me too. And I lost FB. Oh, it's back now. Go Booth for chopper. For what canyon it is in now. I could clarify. Is IFB still out of vote? What? Okay. Sorry, Simon Desk, I was just talking to the booth. Yeah, don't say that it has crossed Mandeville Canyon yet, because it has not. I was able to look at a better map. It's still in Sullivan Canyon. Fire is advancing at an uneven pass paralleling west Mandeville Canyon Road. We're looking for it. What are you trying to have us see? Yeah, there's a trailer there. I'm not sure if it's a residential or what. This is the max here, and we're in digital because they're keeping us up so high. Yeah, Mark, we're still keeping a close eye on this scene right here. We're gonna try and figure out exactly what this property is. As Josh Haskell was saying, it appears to be one of those, outposts that might have to do with maintenance or other public works or things of that sort. You would hope that whoever's in that trailer has long since gone. I would definitely imagine that is the case. One thing I want to clarify about the canyons here: there are a lot of canyons in this area. Mandeville Canyon is one of them. Sullivan Canyon is the next canyon further west. We're kind of dealing with being at a high altitude because air traffic control is keeping us at 7,000 feet. So the canyons are starting to blend together. So forgive me for that. But what we're able to confirm now is that the fire is still on the west side of Mandeville Canyon. It has not crossed Mandeville Canyon. It's established in Sullivan Canyon, which is kind of a firefighter term for there's a lot of fire activity in Sullivan Canyon, and that's a concern right now. That's what fire crews are hopefully going to work on doing something about, whether it be with water drops or crews on the ground or things of that nature. Again, looking at this dramatic shot of this outpost here with this American flag blowing around in a few different directions. Overall, it appears to be kind of from the north to the southwest. So definitely that Santa Ana flow we're seeing continuing right now. But again, the fire has not crossed Mandeville Canyon Road, so we could say that at this point. The next thing after Mandeville Canyon is that Mountain Geek community, so that's still definitely a concern, but we do know that the fire is still on the west side of Mandeville Canyon Road right now, so I wanted to clarify that for you guys. Mark? So there's still another canyon between that and and Mountain Gate, though, right? Okay, cool. But then you got all that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. worries. You come through the smoke again. You have another Starlink battery, Marcel? Nice. What? Could you imagine? DC-10 coming through the smoke right now. I don't think he's going to do anything on this pass, though. Yeah. Mint Mobile works great. Yeah. I have four bars up here. What is it in? Oat? What is it out of? Oat? Wilson now? Oh. No, I mean, just wondering if we have to turn or anything. Hello. I'm good. Okay, copy that. Understood. it's got that brush. Yep, he just dropped. That's crazy. Where's the Nike site? Is it on, is it at the end of Mandeville Canyon though? Oh, yep. That's the one. So that's kind of the stand. That's the stand they're making. Why aren't they using the helipad there? They don't need to? Oh, okay. Why isn't, these are all outside helicopters except for the helitanker. Okay. Okay. There was an LA County fire earlier. I saw Ventura, but sounds like LA County went back home. Yeah. Very well, true. I want to know what that is. Really? Hey, Lauren, what'd you say? Okay, copy. Where's that trailer from there? To the right? Okay. little bit. Where's the trailer from there? So it's kind of follow Mountain Gate. Is that the next ridge? Is that west of Okay. Yeah, well, it's one of them. I think so. That guy's going to spot for him, and then he's, yep. That was a skinny one. Copy that. He left? Is he turning around? I I think they did. No, I don't know. Well, the resources going down Mandeville Canyon. Look at that. What's all that buildup on the north end of Brentwood? Yeah. Ready. That's West Ridge. Yeah, Irene, we've been keeping an eye on this community here. This is the West Ridge area, kind of on the north end of Brentwood, and we are seeing that the fire appears to be established in the canyon directly to the west, and that is a concern. You're going to see a lot of flame and smoke activity from there, but right in front of that, the fire did extend on this side of the canyon, on the east side of the canyon, and fire crews were able to kind of work on that and hammer that end down, and it looks like things have calmed down on the east side of that canyon. But as we widen out the shot, you could see here still a lot of fire activity. We've seen a lot of fire resources head down Mandeville Canyon Road. This is the western slope of Mandeville Canyon, so you do see that fire starting to creep down, and if we zoom in there right in the center of your screen, you can see there one of those edges of the fire creeping down, and I think that appears to be a structure. That's the first structure that I've seen. We saw a trailer a little earlier that may have caught on fire, and this is the first structure I've seen. I'm not sure if this is a home exactly. We're going to try and get the details on that, but this appears to be a home. It looks like there's a pool in the back, so that is definitely an unfortunate sight. This is the first structure I've seen burn in the past day or so, because it seems like most of this fire has been kept to the back country. Even though it's continuing to burn, continuing to put up smoke, this fire has now moved into populated communities again, now on the east side of the fire, and we have our first structure burning here. This appears to be on the west end of Mandeville Canyon. You can see there Mandeville Canyon Road at the bottom of your screen. That's the concern right now. That's where fire crews are going to put up a strong fight. They have all those resources in there. They're going to work on structure protection. The wind appears to be a slippery slope right now. Looking at the trees right in that canyon, I'm not seeing a lot of movement on some of those upsloping ridges that are maybe north-facing. I do see a little bit of gusty conditions, but in Mandeville Canyon itself, it appears to be okay. Look at that flag there at the very top of the ridge. So you can tell there's gusty conditions in certain parts of this fire, and that's what happens in these areas with a lot of hills and valleys. The Santa Monica Mountain's a perfect example of that. So you have areas where there's gusty conditions and areas that aren't so gusty. Right now, fire crews are going to use the topography to their benefit, even though this is definitely an unfortunate sight here, a home burning on the west end of Mandeville Canyon. But fire crews are going to use the topography to their benefit in that the fire will be creeping down the slope of Mandeville Canyon, and we know that fire moves slower downhill, and it's on those uphill slopes that fire crews definitely have to worry about those racing fire spread conditions. That's where things can get out of control very quickly. But just a sad sight to see this home almost already a complete loss, and we didn't see this a few minutes ago. But that's definitely a concerning sight. You still have a lot of resources in the area, a lot of resources on the ground, multiple helicopters in the area. They've been picking up water from Stone Canyon Reservoir on the east end, on the other side of the 405, so that's a short trip away. They can get water and they can bring it to this area quick, but they seem to be doing everything that they can. They have a lot of helicopters from out of town right now. They're giving the LA County fire crews a break and the LA City fire aerial crews a break, so all these out-of-town helicopters, some that we might not be used to seeing, some of these sky cranes and other unusual helicopters of that sort. So if you see that in the area, this is what they're doing. They're from out of town. They're from the IE, and they are bringing in all these outside resources, all these outside aerial resources to really try and make an impact on this fire. We have seen a lot of air tankers make a lot of drops on the north end of the fire, so I see a line of fire retardant as Marcel widens out the shot and brings us to the north. I see a line of fire retardant coming from the north all the way, it looks like, from about the Tarzana line, coming across that ridge there, that fire road where the Nike silo location is. That's kind of the area where fire crews are trying to hold this fire to the north, and that's a perfect location for it because the fire will race up the hill and then it will very slowly creep down south. And now that those aerial tankers have been able to drop that line of Phos-Chek around the fire, that is going to be helpful, and that will allow fire crews to focus their efforts on the homes and the homes and properties in Mandeville Canyon and the Brentwood area, so they won't have to focus too much on the stuff going on the north and west side of this fire. Still a concern if you're in Encino. the Encino area, still a concern. Do not let your guard down. If you have an evacuation warning or an evacuation order in effect for your area, please heed those orders and those warnings. I believe homes around the Mulholland Drive area are included in that evacuation, that mandatory evacuation area. If you're west of the 405, Mark and Irene, you could probably have the latest details on that. But from the air, what we're seeing here is a line of fire retardant around the north side of the fire, and the helicopters are working now to really try and help with the flames that are now burning downslope on the west side of Mandeville Canyon. And unfortunately, as we zoom back in, we do have our first home that appears to be a complete loss since this flare-up began late last night. Mark and Irene. Copy. Simon Desk Air 7. 30 minutes on station, 3-0. Can you repeat your last? Yeah, sky map is down. We can switch helicopters when we go back, though. Let me check. So that is there. Widen out for me, Marcel, a little bit. That's up the canyon. I think, no, that's not it. Okay, I got it. 3371 Mandeville Canyon Road. 3371. Oh, that's sad. This is Mandeville Canyon. It's a home in Mandeville Canyon. So the first home in Mandeville Canyon is burning. It's the 3300 block of Mandeville Canyon Road. Copy. Oh my goodness. Yep, it's going up. Marcel? Copy. Thank you. I think it went. I got it. I got a small HD up here. See, sometimes it doesn't work though. There we go. With just your phone? It's a good ways. I mean, yeah. I mean, once it gets on this side of Mandeville Canyon, if you get the wind, it could shoot down that way. And then you get Getty down there. That's scary. How long you on till, Tyler? Are they doing downlink, Marcel? Are they doing downlink, the other ship? Oh, okay. Was there a reporter too? Oh no. Wow. We're still a good ways from the 405. It still has to get through Mountain Gate. It has to get through Mandeville Canyon, get up slope, which I think it can do, but then it has one more canyon to get through, and then it can come down towards the 405. So I think we're a number of hours away if they even let it get that far. What do you think, Tyler? Like 20, 15 more minutes? 2-0, 20 more minutes. Thank you. Yeah, that's... Are we doing a second, Marcel? Oh. Copy that. Standing by. Copy. What was that? Yeah, Mark and Irene, this home that we've been focused on, that's the first home we've seen burning in Mandeville Canyon, and it is just an unfortunate sight after days and days of dealing with this firestorm, starting with the wind conditions Tuesday night. You know, we seem to have had a few days of calm, and then last night we had this flare-up, the Palisades fire flaring up towards the north and towards the east, and we now have this fire encroaching down into Mandeville Canyon. That's where fire crews are trying to put up a stand, but unfortunately there are homes a little bit up the canyon. This home's at the end of a driveway, still has an address of, we believe, on the 3300 block of Mandeville Canyon Road. It's on the end of a little driveway, but it's still Mandeville Canyon Road, end of a long driveway. Now, fire crews are here on Mandeville Canyon. They have a lot of crews down in the canyon. They have structure protection in place for structures that they can protect. If your structure in Mandeville Canyon has defensible space, fire crews will be able to work and have a good probability of saving your home. If your home does not have any defensible space, like this home in particular, fire crews are not going to be able to put to do much, to be quite frank with you. You can see a lot of those trees there leaning up into the home, into the, you know, leaning on the roof, leaning onto the property. That whole wood balcony there, you could see it, there was a pool there that we could see not long ago. Now that entire balcony and the entire home really is completely going up in flames. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a collapse of the roof very shortly here. And when that happens, you see a lot of embers get shot up into the air, and that becomes a concern because that could lead to little spots in and around the Mandeville Canyon area, which is what we're trying to avoid. So definitely a sad sight to see here, but fire crews have their aerial resources, their helicopters really. They're picking up water from Encino Reservoir, they're picking up water from Stone Canyon Reservoir, and they have multiple helicopters working on the area. You could see there, a water drop on this particular home. I'm a little bit surprised to see that because the home was pretty much going up in flames already, so I'm surprised they did that, but they are probably doing that to cool the fire down and to stop it from spreading a little bit further down the hill, down towards those homes that have defensible space that fire crews are really trying to protect right now. But we have the fire being established now on the west side of Mandeville Canyon, inching down the slope, and you could see there's another water drop coming now. This appears to be one of the Firehawk helicopters, and they are going to make a targeted and precise water drop right on that balcony, and you could see it's putting most of those flames out, even though the house, you know, at this point it's going to be a total loss, but they're trying to prevent it from lighting those bushes on fire right at the bottom of your screen and prevent further spread here. And those helicopters and air tankers, they're working on these fingers of the fire, if you will, that are inching their way down the western slope of Mandeville Canyon. And this is the perfect time to do so because the winds, we have a little bit of gusty conditions at the top of the hillsides right now, but the winds aren't that intense in the valleys quite yet. And on the western slope where the fire has to move downhill, the fire will move slower. So this gives fire crews and those helicopters time to put a lot of water drops down and hopefully prevent it from crossing Mandeville Canyon, or at least hitting any more homes in Mandeville Canyon. As we saw a little bit a few seconds ago, one of those C-130 Hercules air tankers, they're preparing to do another drop in the area of fire retardant. Probably not on the home like we saw those helicopters do, but they are working to continue to create a line around this fire. Right there on that ridge that leads to Mulholland Drive, that's where all of that Phos-Chek and all of that fire retardant is at this point, and that is the stand that fire crews are making on the north and the northeast side of this fire. But the big focus right now, you can see those homes there. We'll try and find out where those are exactly, but those homes are already covered in fire retardant, which is kind of a thankful sight to see at this point. As you see that fire helic right there, that's going to be from Ventura County Fire, so they are in the area. And you have a lot of assets from all over the place, all over Southern California, coming in to the area to help with the fire efforts, and they are giving our local fire crews from LA County Fire and LA City Fire, they're giving them a little bit of a break right now so they can recover, they can do maintenance on their helicopters, and they can rest their crews. So all of these crews from different parts of Southern California and different parts of the southwestern United States are now in the area here helping with this firefighting effort now as the fire creeps slowly down Mandeville Canyon into Mandeville Canyon, and we unfortunately do have our first home lost in Mandeville Canyon. A little bit upslope, so not in the bottom of the canyon where all the rest of the homes are, but unfortunately that is our first home lost there in the center of your screen, near the address of 3300 Mandeville Canyon Road. Mark and Irene. Copy that. Yeah, you can see the 405 freeway at the bottom of your screen. It is still bit, a good distance away from where the flames are. The flames would still have to cross Mandeville Canyon and go through the Mountain Gate community, which is definitely what fire crews are going to do everything in their power to prevent. We may see little fingers of this fire kind of get close to maybe this side of the Mountain Gate community, but I don't foresee an impact to the 405 freeway, at least in these early morning hours. Once the winds pick up a little bit later on, you can't really predict anything after that. So that will be a concern then. If you have to use the 405 right now, I think you should be fine. I don't even see any traffic down there that's too bad at this point. When we were on that wide shot, you could see this, this giant plume of smoke that this fire is still putting up, as you see another air tanker prepared to make another fire retardant drop there through the center of your screen. But all of this smoke that the fire is putting up is moving to the southwest. Unfortunately, it's moving over, the Pacific Palisades community that's already been, doesn't need anything else to worry about, let alone air quality issues. A little bit over Santa Monica as well. So if you're in the Santa Monica area, beautiful drop there, by the way, by that air tanker, pretty much putting a line of fire retardant right in between those flames and the homes in the Mandeville Canyon community. And that is what I was hoping to see here shortly. You have the helicopters making individual water drops, but these long lines of fire retardant, that is what is going to hopefully help slow down this fire and hopefully prevent it, as it's creeping down the hill, which is what it will do in these circumstances as it's going downhill. And hopefully that, because of the slower rate of spread that the fire is moving at right now, hopefully that gives fire crews enough time to bring in more water drops, more fire retardant drops, and really put a line of defense on the upper slopes of Mandeville Canyon, even though unfortunately we do have that one home lost so far at 3300 in the vicinity of 3300 Mandeville Canyon Road. I don't want to give an exact street number because I can't confirm that, to be honest, from this altitude. We're still at about 7,000 feet, so we're above this layer of smoke right now. What this layer of smoke can tell us is that there isn't a lot of wind, but there is a push. We're beginning to see that push from the north to the south, and we're seeing that smoke be pushed to the south and to the southwest offshore. So that's where that's the overall trend of wind right now. So not good news for the folks in Brentwood, even though fire crews are in those areas. They have structure protection in those areas, and they're going to do everything in their power, as we've said, to prevent any further spread of this fire into homes that have defensible space that are able to be defended. Unfortunately, that home there on the right side of your screen, it didn't appear to have any defensible space, really, and that is why that's why I believe we saw fire crews, once they saw it go up, they knew that there was nothing else they could really do except for prevent further spread from the home to the brush. And we're seeing a little bit of these flare-ups as the fire continues to creep down the hill towards Mandeville Canyon. But again, the good news is it has to go down before it comes back up, and it will move slowly down. There isn't a wind component right now that is pushing the fire downslope towards Mandeville Canyon. It's just a lot of fire, and it's a long line of fire. The fire line right now runs from the top of the Santa Monica Mountain slope pretty much right on Old Mulholland Drive, the dirt road. That's the far north end of the fire that has active flames right now, and this is running all the way down to the kind of about halfway down Mandeville Canyon Road. I know Josh Haskell was on earlier talking about how Mandeville Canyon is the longest dead-end road in the city of LA, I believe was the stat that he mentioned, and the fire line runs about halfway down Mandeville Canyon. So that just paints a picture of just how much of an active fire crews are working on right now, and they're throwing everything they have at this. They have the crews on the ground that are stationed for structure protection, so they're not actively climbing the hill putting out the fire. They're set up and setting up a line of defense for structure protection. And you have these helicopters, this one in particular, that's going to be National Guard right there, a Firehawk from the National Guard doing an amazing water drop right there, trying to cool those embers on the upper slope there of Mandeville Canyon. You see another one coming in right behind it, and this is really an amazing sight to see, because That's going to be Orange County Fire right there. They are coming in one after another, these Firehawk helicopters, to put as much water as they can as the fire once again inches down Mandeville Canyon slowly, giving fire crews hopefully the time they need to knock out a lot of these hot spots and get it, and hopefully prevent it even from crossing Mandeville Canyon at all. Well, we did see the one that isn't being used. It's still at Van Nuys Airport. It is parked there. The FAA is doing an investigation. They are inspecting the aircraft. So one Super Scooper is indeed off limits. The other Super Scooper I haven't seen up in the area personally. We're going to try and effort details on where that one went. It was not at Van Nuys Airport, so I don't know if it went to another airport for service or anything like that. But you know, they've been working the past few days, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that their crew has timed out and they are taking a mandated rest break for their crews. So that could be the situation with that other Super Scooper that was not damaged by that drone strike earlier this week. But we do know that one of them still on the tarmac at Van Nuys Airport, right where 7 is based, and still grounded for now. So one Super Scooper out of commission right now. The other Super Scooper, we're going to find out where that is and find out if that's going to be available to help with this firefight today. Amazing. Yeah, the house is still burning, and there's a lot of smoke that that those water drops are creating. So we might even lose the home behind the smoke, but you could still see those really hot flames right there in the center of your screen. The porch that those water drops really hit hard a little bit ago. That porch is you know, they've done a lot of work on that, but you're still seeing some flames because the fire was just burning so hot in and around the home. But hopefully they're going to try to prevent the fire from spreading into the brush that was around that home, which is just a really difficult ask right now. We have, if Marcel widens out the shot and pans to the right, we have another DC-3 tanker. I think this is the DC-10, excuse me, coming into the frame. I believe it might be setting up for just an observation pass right now. It looks a little bit too high to do a fire retardant drop right now. And that appears to be what it's doing right now. But that's just an amazing sight because these DC-10 tankers can drop so much fire retardant, such a long line of fire retardant, hundreds of feet in length, and to see a plane that big flying low over these residential areas is just an amazing sight to see. So we saw it do kind of a supervisory pass of the area to try and see where it needs to affect its drop. There's a lead plane that also does a lower pass of the area, and that lead plane will talk on the radio with the pilots of this DC-10, and they will negotiate where that drop needs to be specifically, and then that lead plane will lead the DC-10 into exactly where that drop needs to be made. You'll see a little puff of smoke come from that lead plane, and then the DC-10 tanker will drop the fire retardant right there where you saw that puff of smoke, or right a little bit past that. But this is just an amazing sight there. You see the 405 freeway right in the background, and this DC-10, this very large, you know, this is a passenger aircraft. It possibly has a past life as a airliner many years ago, and then has been repurposed as a fire tanker. So it's just amazing to see that plane you know, be put in service for this use that is very beneficial and very much needed in this community. We see the DC-10 turning back around. It does appear to be a little lower right now, but I don't see the spotter plane, so I'm not sure if it's going to make a drop right at this point. It might be making another pass, trying to figure out, you know, the area of need right now where fire retardant needs to be is a little bit low in the canyon. It's a little bit obscured by smoke, so that tanker pilot, excuse me, may be kind of weighing his options right now to see what options he can take, where he can actually affect a drop, and if he can even affect a drop that low in the canyon where there's still a lot of smoke right now. The tanker has climbed a little bit in the air. He's probably about 2,000 feet over the fire scene, so I don't think he's going to make a drop at this time, but he's still circling the area, still kind of looking around, seeing, and deciding if and when that tanker can make a drop. And when he does, that's just an amazing sight to see, because like I said, it's a few football fields long of fire retardant, of a line that can become a fire line that fire crews can work with and really hope to slow down this fire once again that is creeping down Mandeville Canyon, down the western slope of Mandeville Canyon towards the road down there at the bottom of the canyon. You can see there another flare up there. That's on the west side of the canyon, where there's a lot of brush. There's a lot of brush that hasn't burned in many years, so you're going to see these flare-ups as the fire kind of gets embedded in and around that brush. But hopefully with these water drops, with these fire retardant drops, you'll see fire crews really and hopefully slow down this fire and hopefully prevent it even from crossing Mandeville Canyon. You could see right there at the center of your screen that pink hue on the hillside. That's where fire retardant has already been dropped. And you could see the white smoke. You could see a little bit less fire activity there, but I'd be a little bit concerned about the flare-up that we're seeing a little bit on the right side of your screen and a little bit of the flare-up at the center of your screen, because that might be below the fire retardant. They might have to bring in another helicopter to do a drop on that particular location. And I'm looking to see if any of those helicopters are around right now. I don't see any particularly in view, and I think the DC-10 tanker might be doing another lap around, hopefully, like we said, to do another drop very shortly, because it would be pretty amazing if we see that. I see the DC-10 flying right over Upper Encino right now, and the lead plane is doing a tight turn around that hillside, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see something on this pass, because I keep kind of teasing what we're going to see, because it is just an awesome sight. And if they can utilize all of these resources and really get this this line of fire retardant right where they need it, that can be exactly what fire crews need. As we said, as the fire creeps downhill, it's slowly going downhill, and that is a very important thing to see. You see the lead plane dropping a little bit of smoke there. The DC-10 pilot is following that smoke, and there you see the fire retardant drop starting, and he's going to continue. He's going to keep going. As we said, that can drop a line of fire retardant a number of football fields long, and wasn't that just amazing? Right there in the canyon, right there, probably on top of some of those homes, but that will serve as an extra layer of protection on the hillside here in Mandeville Canyon. 12,000 gallons of fire retardant that DC-10 can hold. Mark and Irene. I think so. I think we're going to see one or two more drops from this DC-10. You're going to see a couple more drops from the C-130 Hercules aircraft that is out here. Those aircraft can't do lines quite as long, but I think we're going to see probably one more trip from that DC-10, and then that DC-10 has to go. You do definitely. I think that that line that we saw was maybe kind of in the very bottom of Mandeville Canyon. It must have almost been right on top of the homes, because I don't really see it too much on the ridge. You see there that pink outline. I think that was from an earlier drop, and I think right there in the center of your screen, that's the Phos-Chek that we just saw dropped there. Pretty much right on Mandeville Canyon, which is helpful. That will help prevent, if any embers come down into the canyon, that will serve as something that will slow the process of those embers catching those properties on fire. The DC-10 there flying through the center of your screen there. I'm not sure if it's going to try and make another pass right now. It's not immediately leaving the area, but it is kind of turning around, and they've been having a pattern, so to speak, of going from north to south. So the fact that it's going from south to north right now, I'm not sure what it's going to do, but at some point they will need to reload, and they will have to go to either Oxnard or Foxfield in Palmdale. That's where they have crews with equipment that can refill this aircraft in pretty quick order. We did see the DC-10 here earlier, and then it left for about 30 minutes, and then it came back. But on this very flight, we saw the DC-10 on this very flight that we've been up here in Air 10 for the Air 7, excuse me, for the better part of the last hour and a half here. We've seen the DC-10 make a couple drops, and then it left for a little bit, and then we just saw it come back. So I think I see it flying away, passing over Tarzana and Woodland Hills, so I'm not sure if it's going to come back and do another drop while we're up on this flight. It's probably on its way back to get refueled there, as Marcel keeps the camera focused on this Ventura County Firehawk here, probably about to make another water drop as the fire continues to creep down the western hillside of Mandeville Canyon Road. It appears that that home is quite a ways uphill. It's on a driveway and it's on a hill, and there's a lot of brush around that home. And the homes next to it are good. You know, they're not that far away, but they're downhill. There's a good distance from them. So hopefully, you know, with all of these airdrops and the airdrops on the property itself, to try and knock down some of the heat from that fire, as you see it kind of being you know, obscured by smoke at this point, because well, hopefully a lot of that smoke is coming from the water drops on the flanks of the fire a little bit to the north of here, and that's why we're seeing a lot more smoke. It is kind of a white smoke or a gray smoke, so not that dark black smoke that we were seeing a little bit earlier. But to answer your question specifically, it looks like homes, there aren't any homes immediately next to that home that's burning, so hopefully firefighters can hold it there and prevent it from attacking anything else in the Mandeville Canyon area. Thank you, Larry. Copy. Are they fighting for space? Wow. Yeah. Simon Desker 7, we're going to start making our way away from this, but we'll hold a picture as long as we can. Yeah, we're good. We're done. We got to go. Copy. We'll hold a shot as long as we can. Yeah, we will hold the shot. We will hold the shot. Oh, how long? A couple more minutes, because we're descending pretty quick here. Copy, clear. Thank you. I think realistically about 30, like 20. What do you think? 20 to turn around. 11:30. We'll shoot to be back up around 11:30. Thank you. Look at him just hovering in there. Full power. Not you. Sorry. They are in there. On O2 or on the. Look at this. How's Eaton? You think they forgot about this? Yeah. What has Eaton been doing? Oh yeah, there they go. I trust you. Yeah, me too. Did you bring something? After? Simon Desker 7. Hey, I'll get on with you when we land, but we're gonna need to extend the break a little, just because the pilot needs to eat, and we'll just need to take a couple more extra minutes on the ground. I told them 11:30 earlier. That's probably going to be closer to 11:45 because we're still not even air traffic control hasn't even let us like fully descend yet. Copy. If you're wondering, this is the west side of the fire. Lots of fire activity coming on the west side of the fire, but not too many homes in this area. Are they trying to talk to me on microwave? Go for me